What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie. This is part 4 of my Meet the Boots series. Looking for my notes on this. This is when I review bootleg Frank Zappa releases, and heck, I can do other ones, might as well, that appear on streaming services. Because I don't want you to go out and buy a bootleg and support that. But if it's streaming and really they're getting paid, what I think everyone can listen to it in the world once, and they'd still get like $1 or $2, right? So yeah, I'm gonna review these. And one very recently popped up within the last couple months. It popped up on my YouTube feed, and then I found out it was also on Spotify Music. I think it's also on Amazon Music. But it is it's Frank Zappa, The Young Sophisticate. This came out in October of last year. And it is a bootleg comprised of selections from the 1979 tour, the Manchester, England, February 12th show at the Apollo from a BBC radio broadcast. The sound is excellent. Excellent sounding, especially for a bootleg. And also, I think one of the reasons I'm kind of excited to talk about this is, one, we don't have a complete show from 79 yet. We have a lot of material from 79 that's been officially released. A lot of guitar solos from 79, the Don't Eat the Yellow Snow from stage 1. We got bits and pieces of 79, mostly guitar solos. So there's a lot out there, but we don't have a complete show. This is not a complete show. It is, 10 tracks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There could have been better tracks selected, but, I'm going to review what's here. The tracks, for the most part, are in the order that they would appear in the show, other than one of the encores is bumped up towards the end of, is in the middle of it. What I'm assuming, if it was vinyl, was the end of side A. An interesting selection because there's some good editing on here. Don't Eat the Yellow Snow appears. It's not the Yellow Snow Suite. It's literally Don't Eat the Yellow Snow. It's the last track on here, and it's it ends with a watch out where the Huskies go, don't you eat that yellow snow. Watch out where the Huskies go, don't you eat that yellow snow. And it just stops. It's kind of a cool ending. It makes me want to get out my iPod, which I still listen to, and have a track list that ends with just Don't Eat the Yellow Snow and does not go into Nanu Grubs It. It was actually okay. I looked at it and I was like, what? We only get the first one? But then I was listening to it. I was like, oh, that actually works really well. But the other problem with it is there is one of the encore numbers, Montana, is included. It's jumped up to appear. That's the one that's moved from the encore to the end of side A. But after they play Montana, Frank introduces the next song and even names it by name, but they don't have that next song. And it's what is in the place of that next song would be the opening track on side B. In the case of streaming, which is what I listen to, the next song is Inca Roads. So you're not that disappointed, but knowing that maybe you could have had Inca Roads and the one they mentioned, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to talk about that in a second. It would be good. So anyways, the other reason I'm excited about this release is 1979, the tour for 79, in which Vinnie Colaiuta and Arthur Barra were the drum bass rhythm section, is generally regarded as maybe one of the top, by many, the best Frank Zappa tour for guitar playing. I would say many put it in the top 2, top 3 maybe. You got 78, you got 79, you got 81, you got 82. You got 4 years or that are peak. I would add 74 Fall in there. 79 is always in the conversation. Lose points for that. My saying in the conversation. But it's always in the discussion about being one of his greatest tours. All the Shut Up and Play Your Guitar solos are from this tour. They're Inca Road solos. And so the cool thing about this bootleg, there's only 3 guitar solos on here. 2 of them could be used as evidence to make the case that this is the best year, the best tour for Frank guitar solos. And that is why I think this release is a little bit exciting. So this is what you get. 10 songs. Opens up with Ain't Got No Heart. Don't need that. Sound is good. You get to hear what the band sounds like. I would have preferred something different. There are other songs. There's a Dead Girls of London was played to open a lot of these shows. That would have been sweet. Get an Ain't Got No Heart. Okay. Get a City of Tiny Lights. I'm always a fan of City Tiny Lights. This is the City of Tiny Lights. Death Vamp is still hung over from the Fall 78 tour. It's just this, right? It's just kind of the vamp, I think, is lacking in something. The solos, it's decent. It's an okay City of Tiny Lights solo. There would be much more interesting and crazier City of Tiny Lights on this tour, but it's not bad and it sounds good. It's nice to hear this. Then we get a Dancing Fool. Don't need that, but whatever. And then we get an Easy Meat. And this is the Easy Meat. It is the same. It is on Transfusion. The song, I think it's the one about the Mr. Stupid, Ask Dr. Stupid, that that vamp, which is one of the other leftover death vamps from the Fall 78 tour. What Frank does with his guitar solo almost immediately upon entering this what is usually one of my more frustrating guitar solos to listen to, because that vamp just buries Frank's guitar somehow, and it just seems to become like entangled in these thorns, and he has to like fight his way out of it. Almost immediately, it's like, and again, going back to surfing imagery, sorry, but like the death vamp is this steady march of waves coming in, dun dun dun, just one after the other, like not long enough to ride, but you're just like dun crash, right? But this surfer, Frank's guitar being the surfer, has found a way to use the momentum of the short waves to ride against the tide and like ride this endless string of waves. And his solo just seems to float over this vamp and almost like invert it, or almost like take it and use it against itself. And I don't know if it's really melodic, but there's something really just striking and really, really interesting about the guitar solo. Like almost immediately, I was ready to just like, okay, I'm going to lose it. It sounds great, but even with the great sound, the guitar is going to get lost. But immediately, Frank was just like, oh, we're going this direction. I'm going to run straight into the headwind and use that actually to my advantage. It's a really good solo. It's not the best Easy Meat solo from this tour. Frank was able to salvage this vamp. I mean, he's Frank. It's 79. But as far as what he's bringing to the table with this one, it's kind of short, but it's really interesting. I think it's just, this is early in the tour, second show, I think, of 79 tour. So it was exciting. A really good solo, surprisingly good solo. Then we get a Montana, and sadly, Montana does not get solos on this tour. To imagine what a Kaliuta Barrow rhythm section supporting a funky Montana solo would have been like I just drool at the prospect. But we don't get a solo. We get when they finish the song, Frank's going to introduce the next song. They're going to give him a special treat. It's an encore number. It's Pound for a Brown. Wouldn't we love to hear that? But as soon as he says it's Pound for a Brown, either side A ends or we go right into Inca Roads if you're streaming. Inca Roads, there's 4 guitar solos, right? System of Edges off guitar. The title tracks of the Shut Up and Play Your Guitar are all Inca Road solos. Occam's Razor, which would be used for On the Bus, Toto Line on Joe's Garage, is an Inca Road solo. The Inca Road solos are fantastic. This one, add to that category. Add this. You have to hear this. And the greatest thing about this Inca Road solo is it kind of sounds nothing like those other Inca Road solos. It definitely has a different sort of approach than the Shut Up and Play Your Guitar ones. It doesn't have that sort of, thematic return that it keeps doing in the Occam's Razor one. Frank is leaning heavy on the effects early, that sort of underwater flange type effect. It's a little meatier than it was on like Fall 73, but it's got that underwater effect. A lot's going on with effect-wise. But it's just got a whole different vibe than those. It's really long. It's aggressive, but it seems to be like saying a lot in its aggression. It's not just like this crazy, chaotic, like whirlwind. It's like going forward while being aggressive. Again, the rhythm section, not again, but Kaliuta and Barrow in the rhythm section, fantastic. This is a worthy guitar solo. Like add this to the list of like great Inca Roads guitar solos if you're making a case for why 79 might be the greatest tour for Frank's playing ever. Absolutely fantastic. Then the closing out. I mean, even though that's like the sort of the highlight of side B, the highlight of the middle part of the album, 9-minute Inca Roads. After they do the post solo instrumental parts, we don't get a solo. We don't get the keyboard solo section. We went immediately into the next song. So the 8 minutes and 53 is lacking. It's long because you're not getting like the last 3-4 minutes of the song, 3 minutes of the song. But after Inca Roads, we get a For the Young Sophisticate. Really nice, tasty, short guitar playing in the very beginning of this. Gives it some nice flavor. Why Does It Hurt When I Pee, which is always fun. Peaches and Regalia, which is Peaches 3, the Tinseltown Rebellion version. Not the actual version, but the same. What's the word I'm looking for? The same... It's not that actual performance, but it's the same version. I'm missing a word. Arrangement as the Peaches 3 version. And then we get Don't Eat the Yellow Snow. Not the Sweet, not Nanook, no St. Alfonso, Father Oblivion's nowhere to be seen. We just get the Don't Eat the Yellow Snow. And it ends on the Watch Out Where the Huskies Go, boop, no, no. It's kind of a neat ending. So it's a boot, right? Don't go buy it. But it's free. It's on streaming. It's called The Young Sophisticate. If you're not familiar with the 79 tour, I think the sound is fantastic. You can imagine what, like some of the things we're missing from this tour. We're missing like the Dead Girls of London, which is pretty sweet. The Brown Shoes Don't Make It from Tinseltown is from this show. We're missing a Florentine Pogan, an Andy. Actually not missing that much. Yeah, really, we're not missing that much. Really. But yeah, all right. But that's it. Kind of a good listen. All right, I enjoyed it. I kind of recommend it if you're going to listen to stuff for free on streaming. Kind of recommend listening to this. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. It was fun. Yeah, it's a fun listen. And that Inca Road solo, yes, that Inca Road solo. It's one of those. Really good. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. If you check this out, if you have thoughts, if you want to complain about how I shouldn't even be supporting boots and encouraging streaming, let me know. Let me have it. I'm open to those discussions. But I know, but it's also on YouTube. So, hey, you're watching YouTube, right? Go listen to it on YouTube then. All right. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Peace. Comment, subscribe, like, and go listen to this Inca Roads, people. Go listen to this Inca Roads. Peace. Talk to you later.